Return again, return again, return to the land of your soul. Return again, return again, return to the land of your soul. Return to who you were, return to what you were, return to where you were, born and reborn again. Return to who you were, return to what you were, return to where you were, born and reborn again.
That you are lighting the Shabbat, the Yom Kippur candles. Please come to light the candles now. Charcoals and zanes. Turn to page 9. We'll find the blessings there. Baruch atah Turn to page 16.
אור זרוע לצדיק ולאיש לב שמחה בשיר השמע ובשיר השמעת על דעת המקום ועל דעת אנו מתאימים להתפלל
With one voice, assembled sages past and present declare, all may pray as one on this night of repentance. Let none be excluded from our community of prayer. With one voice, God and congregation proclaim, all may pray as one on this day of return. Let all find a place in this sacred assembly. We ask you now to rise for Kol Nidre. If you are a Torah holder for Kol Nidre, please come now.
מיום כיפורים זה עד יום כיפורים הבא עלינו לטובה חרטנה בהום כול הום יום שרן שביעי בטלים ומבוטלים לשרירים בין הקיימים נדרנה
תלמידי ועשרי וחרמי וקונמי וכינויי וכינוסי ושבו דינדנה ודאישתבנה ודאחרימנה ודאסנה על נפשתנה מיום כיפורים זה עד יום כיפורים הבא עלינו לטובה כולו יחרטנה בעול כולון יהון שביתי בתלינו מבוטלים לשנים ולקיימים נידנה להנידרי וסנה לאסרי ושבועתה
Take one breath in your chair. And then if you would, please rise. Told you it's a certain kind of workout. This Yom Kippur for the body and soul. We are on page 22. Baruch Hu, the call to prayer.
Leolam
Page 25, Veronica.
Day and night are yours, creative spirit of the universe. The muted colors of twilight, the radiance of dawn. Yours are the spreading wings of light, the deepening shadows of darkness, an ever-changing drama. In the human heart, too, the struggle between darkness and light unfolds. From sunlit heights of generosity, the human heart sinks to the gloomy depths of selfishness. Although we fall, you give us strength to rise again. You call on those who hurt through word or deed to break free from wrongdoing and return to you. All who hear your call to goodness are embraced. All who reject emptiness and evil find acceptance from you. We come into your presence this night of Kol Nidre, aware that our shortcomings and weaknesses are many. Yet, encouraged by your promise of forgiveness, we choose freely the path of repentance, restoring wholeness to our lives and holiness to the world.
ומעביר יום ומאיר לילה ומבדיל בין יום ובין לילה אדוני צבאות שמו אל חי וקיים תמיד ימלוך עלינו לעולם ועד
Now the prayers of the Shema that are wrapped in a loving embrace, prayers of love on either side. I invite you to take a moment now on this Yom Kippur night to reflect on your whole year of loving. Can you reflect on some moments where you felt filled with love that you received? And reflect also on moments of giving love that you gave to others. Take a moment now. Moments of giving, feeling, receiving, bringing it in, really feeling, felt. You felt it. It got in. And then other moments where you felt it pouring out of you. Pouring out to the world, to those you love, to your animals. Whatever that experience was of the pouring out of love. And if you have one of those, either the giving or the receiving you want to share, one moment from this past year of feeling it, or maybe there were several, but choose one part of that to share with a partner briefly sitting next to you. Go for it. Here we go. Page 26, Ahavat Olam.
Ahavat Olam, Beit Yisrael, Amcha ahavta, Torah u'mitzvot, Chukim u'mishpatim,
statement, affirmation, holding is on page 28 and 29. Or you can look at it, or you can just sound it, or you can listen for it. We're going to do one breath, one word, and then echad, the last word, the word of oneness. All things, all people, all nothing, everything, one thing. We're going to chant the echad, and if you want to take a breath, take a breath. We're this many-voiced choir, as we talked about on Rosh Hashanah, supporting each other with our inhale and our exhale, and we'll draw it out, and it will end right when it needs to. So here we are for the Shema prayer. Shema. Person here tonight who identify with that idea, or a teenager, or a preteen, or younger. I know there are a lot of you here tonight. And you would like to come and help lead the Ve'ahavta up here, or if you're like, I don't know what that is, but I just want to stand with these other young people in solidarity, you can do that too. So come on up if you are willing. You know the Ve'ahavta, and you want to come and lead us. Maybe you just had a bar of mitzvah, maybe you're about to. And Jack, come on down, guys. We want to see you. And if you don't know it, you guys come right in front here. Good to have some sort of prayer book. Come right in front. Itai, don't be bashful. Chamocha, song of courage. Sending a prayer for peace to all of the places in our world, inside of ourselves and our city and our nation. We need a lot of peace. Hashkivein, page 42.
Hashkiveinu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom Lehaviteinu malkeinu lechaim Hashkiveinu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom Lehaviteinu malkeinu Shalom, Shalom.
Kaddish, page 45.
ויתקדש שמי רבן בעלמא תברך חירותי וימליך מלכותי בחיי חון וביומי חון ובחיי דכל בית ישראל בגלה ובזמן קריב ויאמרו אמן. יהי שמי אברהם מבורך לעלמון ועמיה יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתהלל ויתהלל שמי דקודשה בריחו. לילה ולילה לילה ולילה מכל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה וחמתה Open my heart. Go beyond, go beyond, go beyond, go beyond. Leila.
Rise now for the Amidah, the standing prayer. Begins on page. Begin together, and then we will go into our own silent prayers, our own personal work done individually, and yet in a group we do this work. So we begin now on page 46.
Ya na 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 Adonai. Ya na 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 Sfatai Tita. Ya na 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 Ufiaki.
Silent prayer now through page 80. When you are complete with the prayers you are doing, you may be seated. There's the many prayers in the book, so you can use the book, but also please the prayers of your heart that are alive tonight. A prayer for those in our community and our lives who are sick and in need of healing. Welcome you to think of those people now. Whisper their names aloud. God, please heal him. Elna Rafana Lo, please heal him. Elna Rafana Li, please heal me. Refuah Shlema, healing of wholeness, complete healing. Elna Rafana La.
Elna Rafana.
Lo. enter into the Vidui prayers, the confession prayers. They are a series of prayers that call out, that each of us take responsibility for. We say them in the plural, so you might not have done it, but your neighbor might have, and we're going to all hold it. And even if you're thinking, oh, I don't know, I don't see any of mine covered, I guess I'm good. There's plenty more not written, so you can keep going and imagining things that you need to say too. In the Al Chaitz, we'll do what is in the book, and then over the last several weeks, many of you have turned in anonymously your own list of Al Chaitz. And I'll share some tonight and some in the morning. It is not too late to share, to be included in tomorrow mornings. There is actually a basket at the back of the room where you can add in. So it's an opportunity to be honest about what this year has held and what past years have held maybe too, if it's habitual patterns that we want to change and not carry into this new year. So we begin now on page 82. We do. Bottom of 82.
חטאנו לפניך בזדון ובשגגה, על חטא שחטאנו לפניך בדיבור.
Joining together in the English, the ways we have wronged you deliberately by mistake and harm we have caused in your world through the words of our mouths.
על חטא שחטאנו לפניך באימוץ הלב, על חטא שחטאנו לפניך בטיפשות פה.
The ways we have wronged you by hardening our hearts and the harm we have caused in your world through careless speech.
על חטא שחטאנו לפניך בכחש ובחזק, על חטא שחטאנו לפניך ברכילות.
The ways we have wronged you through lies and deceit, and harm we have caused in your world through gossip and rumor.
על חטא שחטאנו לפניך בפלילות, על חטא שחטאנו לפניך בזלזול הורים ומורים.
The ways we have wronged you by judging others unfairly, and harm we have caused in your world through disrespect to parents and teachers.
על חטא שחטאנו לפניך בווידוי פה, על חטא שחטאנו לפניך בהונאתה.
The ways we have wronged you through insincere apologies, and harm we have caused in your world by mistreating a friend or neighbor.
על חטא שחטאנו לפניך בחוזק יד, על חטא שחטאנו לפניך במשא ובמתן.
The ways we have wronged you through violence and abuse, and harm we have caused in your world through dishonesty and business.
על חטא שחטאנו לפניך בגלוי ובסתר, על חטא שחטאנו לפניך בפריקת אור.
The ways we have wronged you openly and secretly, and harm we have caused in your world by losing self-control.
על חטא שחטאנו לפניך בגילוי עריות, על חטא שחטאנו לפניך במאכל ובמשתה.
The ways we have wronged you through sexual immorality and harm we've caused in your world through consumption of food and drink.
על חטא שחטאנו לפניך ביצר הרע, על חטא שחטאנו לפניך בנשך ובמרי.
The way we have wronged you by giving in to our hostile impulses and harm we have caused in your world through greed and exploitation.
על חטא שחטאנו לפניך בלצון, על חטא שחטאנו לפניך בנטיית גרון.
The ways we have wronged you through cynicism and scorn and harm we've caused in your world through arrogant behavior. Page 90.
על חטא שחטאנו לפניך בשנאת חינם, על חטא שחטאנו לפניך בטומאת שפתיים.
The ways we have wronged you by hating without cause and harm we've caused in your world through offensive speech.
על חטא שחטאנו לפניך בלשון הרע, על חטא שחטאנו לפניך בצרות עין.
The ways we have wronged you with a slanderous tongue and the harm we've caused in your world through a selfish spirit. List for the ways we have wronged you for acting controlling with my son and husband, for the ways we've wronged you for flattering untruthfully, for turning my friends against each other, for assuming that others will do for me what I am unwilling to do for myself, for not being honest about the racial stereotypes I have and sometimes act on, for not being on time when I could have, for blaming my lateness on traffic, for disproportionately putting my needs before my partner's needs, for driving while texting, for judging others before deeply listening to them, for being critical of myself and others, for sarcasm and a dismissive tone of voice in conversation with those I care about, for lying down instead of standing up, for obsessively checking the news and not taking action with what I hear, for assuming I know what my kids are doing without asking them, for being trapped in my comfort zone, for not calling because I don't want to hear that I don't call enough, for dependence on what I idolize, for self-medicating the day away, for holding on to being right, for not letting go of the anger involved in the custody situation, for continuing to do something even when I know I need to stop, for not listening with my whole heart, for never enoughness, for finding ways to hide rather than face what I need to face, for speaking to myself unkindly a lot, for harsh judgment of my sister's emotional dependence on men, for the times when I do not ask permission before touching another person's body, for being stuck in indecisiveness, for not following my intuition sooner, for trusting the experts more than my own body, for sarcasm and a dismissive tone, I already said that one, but maybe it needs to be said again, in conversation with those I care about, for yelling and then yelling again, for keeping a secret that I should not have kept. 8, we pray that everything we've said, that we've taken responsibility for, that we in our minds, in our hearts, in our words will be heard. Shema Kolenu. Hear our prayers, page 98.
Shema Kolenu Adonai Eloheinu Shema Kolenu Chus Verachem Aleinu Shema
If you feel called to come up to the ark right now and open it, maybe you've ever done that before, but you feel called right now, or you've done it lots of times. You're ready to do it again? Please come on out. Open the ark for Avinu Malkeinu, Rabbi Yanis, page 114.
The Kabbalah teaches that there are 72 names for God, but 2 names that resonate strongly with us this evening on Kol Nidre night are Avinu, our Father, and Malkeinu, our King. We think of a father as a compassionate protector who shows us the right path. We think of a king as a powerful judge who holds us accountable. On this Kol Nidre night, we know we must account for ourselves and be judged, but we ask for compassion and protection in spite of our wrongdoings. We ask for mercy and blessing and forgiveness. Page 114, Avinu Malkeinu.
Avinu Malkeinu, Shema.
We read together, Avinu Malkeinu, almighty and merciful, hear our voice.
Avinu Malkeinu, chatanu lefanecha.
Avinu Malkeinu, we have strayed and sinned before you.
Avinu Malkeinu, chamol aleinu ve'azol aleinu v'tapeinu.
Avinu Malkeinu, have compassion on us and on our families.
Avinu Malkeinu, kale tever v'cherev ve'rav me'aleinu.
Avinu Malkeinu, halt the onslaught of sickness, violence, and hunger.
Avinu Malkeinu, kale kol tzar מסתיר מעלינו.
Avinu Malkeinu, halt the reign of those who cause pain and terror.
אבינו מלכנו, כתבנו בספר חיים טובים.
Avinu Malkeinu, enter our names in the book of lives well lived.
אבינו מלכנו, חדש עלינו שנה טובה.
Avinu Malkeinu, renew for us a year of goodness.
אבינו מלכנו, מלא ידינו מברכותיך.
Avinu Malkeinu, let our hands overflow with your blessings.
אבינו מלכנו, ערב קרן משיחך.
Avinu Malkeinu, let our eyes behold the dawn of redemption.
Page 115. אבינו מלכנו, דל תשיבנו אקם לפניך.
Avinu Malkeinu, we pray, do not turn us away from you with nothing.
אבינו מלכנו, קבל ברחמים ובצון את תפילתנו.
Avinu Malkeinu, welcome our prayer with love, accept and embrace it.
אבינו מלכנו, עשה עמנו למען שמך.
Avinu Malkeinu, act toward us as befits your name.
אבינו מלכנו, עשה למענך אם לא למעננו.
Avinu Malkeinu, act for your sake, if not for ours.
אבינו מלכנו, אין לנו מלך אלא אתה.
Avinu Malkeinu, you alone are our sovereign.
אבינו מלכנו, פתח שערי שמיים לתפילתנו.
Avinu Malkeinu, let the gates of heaven be open to our prayer.
אבינו מלכנו, שמע קולנו, חוס ורחם עלינו.
Avinu Malkeinu, hear our voice, treat us with tender compassion.
אבינו מלכנו, אבינו מלכנו, אבינו מלכנו, בנינו בנינו, כי אין לנו מעשים. עשה עמנו צדקה וחסד. עשה עמנו צדקה וחסד והושיענו. אבינו מלכנו, אבינו
Good Yontif, everyone. Gemar Chatima Tova. This night, this elevated night, in our tradition where Jewish people are gathering right here in this building in multiple spaces, all over our city and small minions and large congregations, and then all over the world, in basements and in large spaces, in small places, a handful of people, or the stunning many, many people here in this room and in the sanctuary. This night that draws us in, this sacred night, our rabbis imagined that this same night was an epic night in the narrative of our people, in the narrative of Torah. We made this break for freedom, and we were in the wilderness, headed to the promised land. This night, this same night, many, many moons ago, we're in the wilderness, we're at the foot of the mountain of Mount Sinai, and we are not sure what is ahead. We are unsure and we are scared. Maybe we should go back. Maybe we should go back. Maybe the slavery, as awful it was as it was, might not be so bad as this unknown. The unknown is so scary. So yes, it's a dangerous idea to go back, but maybe in some twisted way safer, because we know what that's like. And the unknown ahead is so scary. We need something that will help us. What can help us out here? We are so afraid. Hey, why don't we give our jewelry? Let's melt it down. Let's make a calf. Let's make something concrete. Instead of whatever was announced to us, some everything, nothing, big breath, big source. What? Like, give us something. And someone, where is Moses? He has led us out here, and where is he now? We've been waiting for so many days, and he's gone up to that mountain, and we don't know if he's coming. Where are we? What is happening? It is so scary in the unknown. Moses, he was up on that mountain, and he was also completely terrified. I don't know what I'm doing. It's clear to me that the people are already still so afraid. I mean, we had mountains. We had water that split, great walls of water. We walked through and we came to this mountain that shook and was on fire. And still, they are so scared. I don't blame them. I'm terrified. Do you remember that I didn't want to do this? Do you remember that I said this wasn't my role? I have a speech impediment. It's not me. This is not me. I'm not supposed to be here. This is not right. But here I am, I'm listening, I'm getting instructions, I'm doing what I was asked to do, and I am scared, and I'm scared of how scared they are, and then all of a sudden God comes raging to me, telling me, look at them, look at what the people are doing now. You better go back down there and take a look. And Moses does, and there's this dancing around this calf. Oh, I thought it couldn't get worse, but look at this, it got worse. Too is full of rage. He's felt the rage of the divine, and he takes these tablets that are in his hand, and he smashes them. He smashes the tablets in his anger, in his despair. He smashes the tablets. And oh no. Now it's worse again. You didn't even think it could get possibly worse, and now it's worse again. What's going to happen now? What will happen now? This night, the smashing of the tablets, the fear, the wilderness, and the unknown. We are also afraid, like our ancestors gathered around that mountain. We are afraid. Often it's at night when the fear comes to find us and the worry. When we put down the devices, or Netflix, or devices and Netflix, and a drink, or whatever it is that we have done to keep moving, to keep distracted, and then there we are in the night, and all of the thoughts and the worries come to find us. Our fears for our kids, for our country, for our marriages, for our loved ones, for our health, for humanity, for the fires and these storms that keep coming, and the climate that keeps rising in temperature, and the mortgages, and the changes ahead, and the not enough changes ahead. I know for me, the night was when the fear came the strongest. Sometimes I would be asleep and then awaken in the night, and I think to myself, oh, what's been happening? It's all a dream, a crazy nightmare. But then I'd feel up on my head, and my hair was gone. And I felt the stubble, and I realized this is not a nightmare, this is happening. But smashing the tablets is not the only option. Moses takes a breath. He realizes that the people are afraid and they are trying. And he realizes that he's afraid, but he is trying. Scared people do scary things. Moses goes back to God and he pleads on behalf of the people, and pleads for forgiveness, and pleads for help for himself to continue on in this journey. In fact, he puts it very clearly to God. I know that we've all messed up, but if we're going forward together, then we need to feel you. You have to be with us, or we cannot go forward. I have to know you more, I have to feel you more, or I cannot go forward in this journey. So God tells Moses, bring a new set of tablets and come back up the mountain. When Moses comes back up the mountain, the rabbis tell us that God wraps a tallis, a talit, and teaches Moses this prayer. It's an offering to Moses, this prayer in that moment to forgive the people, and a prayer that we can use in this moment. In generations to come, we are offered a prayer because they knew that they weren't the only generation that was going to make mistakes. Already then it was acknowledged that this is part of being human. We had made mistakes, then we will do it again. So here is this prayer. And a way that you can be known by me, God says to Moses, Adonai, Adonai, El Rachum v'chanu, Erech Alpayim v'rav Chesed v'emet, compassionate and full of grace, slow to anger, and abounding in kindness, faithfulness, truth. When Moses is wrapped in a talit and learns this prayer for the first time, this, the rabbis tell us, is this night. It's Kol Nidre night. The people are forgiven and Moses is wrapped in care. All year long we wear a talit only during the daytimes. But on this night, on Kol Nidre night, we are wrapped in this cloth. And whether you are wearing one, actually tonight, you are wrapped in this fabric. This fabric of care and kindness. This fabric that reminds us we are not alone. We are held in love and compassion all the time. You are not alone. Laying in the night, put out the fire in your head. And this rage. I am not going to start smashing tablets or get immobilized by fear and do nothing. That's where our fear goes, either inside where it hurts us or outside where it hurts others. Scared people do scary things. I'm going to be wrapped in this compassion and care and feel how it changes how I move in the world, how I care for others, how I care for myself, how my body, how our bodies can heal, how we can move through such scary times in our nation and in our world. Some people call this God. Some people call it love, or loving kindness, or being, or energy, or makom, or shalom. We have 72 words or more for God in our tradition. So many words, so many ways in. So many experiences, ways in, multiple theologies in Judaism, not just one. So many ways in so that we don't pin it down, so that there's so many ways to experience it. But you don't have to call it anything. You don't have to call it anything to feel it. To feel that you are not alone, that you are always held. Feeling this cloth of compassion and kindness wrapping around your body when you are filled with fear and worry and pain. Now, this is an actual idea, not just an esoteric thought. This is an actual practical experience that you can cultivate. You can take a moment with eyes closed to feel the love and compassion surrounding you, wrapping around you. First, it may be easiest to do this in a quiet space, thinking of somebody you love or who loves you, and let that feeling of love fill you. Or think of being in a place you so enjoy being, and let that fill you. A little bit, maybe each day. Okay, maybe a little bit once a week. Okay, maybe a little bit once a month, or maybe a little bit when you're like, I have nothing else to try. I'm going to try that crazy thing that Rabbi Susan suggested. Maybe then, sitting quiet, laying quiet in bed if you cannot sleep. Or in the day if you're racked with fear. Anytime, can I just wait a minute to feel wrapped in compassion and care? At the foot of the mountain, the people acted so poorly. Oh, they screwed up big time. And here was this prayer given to them. And not just for them, the rabbi said it was given for us, knowing that we too, from fear and insecurity, will use sad strategies, painful strategies, and we will mess up and mess up again. We still have the work to do to mend and repair our damage. Don't think I'm saying you're wrapped in love and now you're all good. No, we have pain that we have caused. We have lied, we have cheated. We have said things out loud that we should never have said out loud. We have been self-destructive and destructive of our businesses, of our families, of our communities. This is not just missing the mark. We have done things that we should not have done, used our powers in ways that were simply wrong. And we know all that we've done or said or failed to do and say. But the tradition says to us that we begin here tonight. We begin with this fabric wrapped around us. We begin with being given these new tablets. We start with compassion and kindness. This is where we start. It's not an extra little frilly something to add in. It is from the beginning. It is from the most basic place of trying to be good humans in the world. We are wrapped in this compassion and kindness. It gives us a compass in the wilderness, a direction for how to move forward to repair the damage. The inside of our journey matters. Filled with compassion and grace, we then move towards others with compassion and grace and kindness. In feeling held, we can hold. In feeling held, we can hold. Honestly and without denial. We can acknowledge what we've done and how to make it better. We come to do the mending of our broken places from here. It will direct how and where we do it. And it will also determine whether it feels received by us and others, whether it makes a difference. Oh, Rabbi, God's love, really? I decided at 15 that was not for me. I don't believe in God. As I said, you do not have to call it that. What about this? What about the fact that our ancestors were all there imagining that we would all be here now? What if when Moses argues in the name of the ancestors going back, we also know that they knew that we were coming here in the future? We can think about our ancestors around that mountain, our ancestors of every generation and in every place. Think about a grandparent, a great-grandparent, a great-aunt, a great-uncle, maybe somebody you weren't related to by blood, a mentor, a spirit ancestor who imagined you and loved you already before you were born. Who delights in you now, who delights in how different you are than them, and who delights in how the same you are than them. This research now, this exploding research in epigenetics, the way that we can pass on a physiological level experiences that weren't yet in our genes, which now become part of our bodies. Our experiences affect our cells, our families, our lives. And for example, research is showing that trauma in our cells can carry from one generation to the next. Tonight, what about this idea I want to add into this conversation of epigenetics, that the hope and the love and the aspiration also can get into our bodies. Their healing, their mending also comes into us now. And our healing and our mending is for the generations to come. This work that we're asked to do tonight on Yom Kippur, it's not just for us. It is for us and for our families and for our nation. And it is also an offering to the generations that are coming after you. The healing that you are doing in your bodies, in your spirits, in your hearts. This is an offering to the generations to come. Our ancestors gathered at that mountain with Moses, and they send their love to us now. They send their trying to be better to us now. We are our grandmother's prayers. We are our grandfather's dreamings. We are the breath of the ancestors. We are the Spirit of God. The words of Isai Maria Barnwell. We are our grandmother's prayers. We are our grandfather's dreamings. We are the breath of our ancestors. We are the Spirit of God. El Rahum, the compassionate one, is holding us. Chanun, full of grace, we are held. Of Chesed and Emet, full of kindness and truth, our ancestors are holding us, and now we are holding the ones to come. We move forward through this wilderness, doing the work that this day requires of us to mend the broken places inside of our hearts with those we love in the world, and as an offering for those that come after us. May you feel compassion and kindness holding you, surrounding you. And may you do the deep work that this day was created for. Shana Tova.
Though I walk through the valley of the shadow, you are with me. Though my heart's been torn on fields of battle, you are with me. Though my trust is gone and my faith not near, in love's sanctuary, you are with me. Through desolations, fire and fear's dark thunder, thou art with me. Through the sea of desires that drag me under, you are with me. Though I've been traded in like a souvenir, in the sanctuary, you are with me. Through the doubter's gloom and the cynic's sneer, you are with me. In the crowded rooms of a mind unclear, you are with me. Though I walk for a while down a trail of tears, in love's sanctuary, you are with me. In love's sanctuary, you are with me. You are with me.
It is on page 116.
Aleinu leshambeach